Welcome back to 343, a sportycast football podcast. I'm your host, AF, joined once again by my trusted co hosts, Diaz Parker, Mubin Ahmed. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, good,
Great.
good.
Considering your opening line, I thought you were gonna start singing "Welcome, welcome, welcome to Cape Town." Um, but
I,
but
I
the
didn't do
ending
the
was a bit
accent for that.
different there.
I think I need to change my entire accent for that.
This is the song, it would have been good to just hear you come out with it.
Yeah, I think I'll leave that one for Jason. I think you'll be able to do that justice, not me, not some Indian guy from Cape Town singing that.
I feel like it would have been apt for Mobin since he's so far away from us. He's
True,
probably
true.
Yeah, as you can see,
he's,
it's broad daylight where I am, so enjoying my
Live from the
vacation.
Bahamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have Odua back, our resident Liverpool stan. How's it going, man?
All good, man. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while.
Yeah. Are you
It's been
excited?
a
Are you
while.
excited or are you nervous?
I'm very nervous for this season. I don't think I've been this nervous. Um, I think I've been this nervous before Klopp's time. Over the years since Klopp has been here, I've sort of been chilled. I know it's back to business. I know that Liverpool's going to do well. It's going to have a good start. We haven't had a bad start since Klopp has been a manager. So I don't know what to expect, man. We don't have signings. I don't know what to expect. So I'm nervous, needless to say.
Yeah. You guys were spoiled, eh? You guys were spoiled for the past what is it, 7 years?
I know, man. I think,
I mean,
I think we didn't appreciate it.
yeah. I mean, after the whole debacle of that 1-1 draw against West Brom, and you guys were holding hands and taking bows and stuff like that, it was very much uphill since then.
I
But
know,
yeah,
I know.
it's a
Yeah,
whole different ball game now.
it's a terrible feeling, man. Because I don't know what's gonna happen. No signings, nothing. There's nothing exciting about what's gonna happen on Saturday about Liverpool. So
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll
just
just see. We'll just see.
just on the signings thing. I mean, the big news from Liverpool is that Subimendi basically rejected you guys to stay at
Uh,
Sociedad, which is wild,
he
absolutely
doesn't
wild.
want to
Like
play
last
Champions
season,
League football, right?
yeah, and like the thing is, recently, Chouameni as well rejected Liverpool to go to Real Madrid. Um, like, is there like from a fan's point of view, does that make you worry? Is that a concern for you that you guys are trying to get these players into try and build for the future now, but it's just not working out?
It's very worrying, man. I'm not sure if it's the plans that they're presenting to these players when they make the bids, or is the amount that they're offering too little. At this point, I don't know. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense that all these players don't want to come to Liverpool, even though Liverpool is. I mean, they've been playing well for the past few seasons. We've mostly qualified for the Champions League in every season. So yeah, it doesn't make sense why these players don't want to come to Liverpool. I'm not sure if it's the payment structure that Liverpool offers, or the plans for the team. Otherwise, any team, I'm sure every player wants to play in the Champions League, and every player would want to play at Anfield. But there's just something that I can't put my finger on that's is putting these players off about Liverpool. And we can't even say it's Klopp now. Klopp is gone, but these players again are rejecting Liverpool. So I'm not quite sure what it is, man. But yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, like also now you guys sold Fabio Carvalho, who I think he had probably the best preseason out of all the Liverpool players, and he's out the door now. You guys haven't signed anybody. Riaz, from your point of view, as somebody that's like looking in from the outside, uh, is that something of concern for Liverpool fans? Like, what's your take on everything?
Yeah, it's there's positives and, and negatives to both, right? Because last season, I mean, they didn't replace Fabinho, and they still did really well. So, but obviously that was under Klopp after it's like 7, 8 years of laying the foundations of what he wanted to do. This year, with a new manager in, it's going to be more difficult to do that, obviously, and especially without plugging any gaps that they might have for the season. With as far as Carvalho is concerned, I'm not sure what exactly went on with him because there must have been something behind the scenes with his work ethic or something like that because Klopp didn't really rate him either. They brought him in and then all of a sudden they kind of loaned him out again. So
Yeah.
maybe there was something behind the scenes that we don't know about that was in reference to him, and that's why he doesn't really want to be, or they didn't want him to be part of the squad, even though he's a decent player. I mean, he's not outstanding, but he's a decent player. He does the job, and wherever he needs to play in the middle or out wide. So I guess to capture the money for him now is a good plan. It's just that they weren't with him last season anyway, so there's not really a hole to plug there. But that sixth role is still something like they wanted to
Yeah.
bring in Zubimendi. So that's basically where they need to kind of, I guess, plug that hole. But other than that, it's all about how the players that are there because they have a good squad, regardless of if they bring anyone in or not. The squad is decent. They just need to. It just needs to be how they kind of adapt to the new manager going forward, and it'll kind of. I still have high hopes for them, to be honest. Signings or not. So I think that it just depends on how they adapt to the new manager this season.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, just moving on from Liverpool, Ubin, Bruno Fernandes signed a new contract now at Manchester United. Um, from what I read, he's among the highest players at the club now, which I think he's warranted that over the past couple of seasons. He always digs United out when they need him, but he's gotten that contract now. We hopefully won't have to see him. You know, when United players sign a new contract, then it's like they don't have to perform at that level anymore. We've seen that with a certain number 10 um,
You're thinking
a couple of
Rashford.
times. I didn't name anybody. I just said a number.
We know
But
what happened there.
with Bruno Fernandes, I feel like his work ethic is a different on a different level, and he knows what is required from him. Just what's your take on the new contract and what that means for United moving forward?
Yeah, I think obviously well deserved. First of all, um, somewhat of a stalwart for us in the sort of medium term of the past, and someone with a high work ethic. I think not really a fan of his antiques. You know, throwing hands at the referees or maybe players here and there, but a very high work ethic and a leader on the field, someone that we need because I don't think again in the recent past we had someone with leadership capability like him to rally up troops, especially when the chips were down, which it was a lot in our case. So also not sure on the amount. But I mean, it's well deserved. I think, given the service that he's given United thus far, and the amount of times he's sort of bailed us out with an assist or a goal when we needed it to get a point or to get 3 points. You know, he always put his hand up in most instances. So happy for him, and I don't think by him getting this contract that anything changes on his behalf. I think his desire and his hunger to play football will obviously still come through the duration of his contract. There were obviously talks sort of towards the end of last season, beginning of the season of maybe him leaving, looking for greener pasture, so to say. But happy that he decided to sign a new contract.
Yeah, I think the whole Eric Ten Hag decision was extremely vital and important for him signing that new contract. I think they've just developed a very good sort of repertoire between the two of them. But yeah, I'm just going to stay on you, Mubin, because
Yeah.
now we're just going to look at United for the season ahead. Riaz, Odwa, if you guys want to jump in at any time, just go ahead. But Bruno Fernandes signed this new contract now. Do you think that's going to be a catalyst of sorts for United this season? Do you think that with all the signings that they've made, all the work that Ineos has done behind the scenes, um, just United in general, do you think that the outset or um, the vision towards the Premier League ahead, how do you see that working? How do you see that going about with all the signings that they've made?
Yeah, I think we got to be optimistic, like we are beginning of every season. But I think there's a sort of a breath of fresh air um, around the place with the project, and I'm stoked with the signings. I mean, we've signed young, energetic players compared to the past. We've signed guys that sort of 30, 32, got a season or two left in them, particularly in a striker position. So, we've signed quality players in positions that we needed up front, in Xerxes, at the back in terms of Yaro, who's unfortunately now injured. That's probably a big loss for us in the beginning of the season. The Ligt that recently signed yesterday, I think, and obviously our right back / left back in Mazrui, seeing that Shaw's out, and that's not surprising news. But yeah, I think Ten Hag obviously has worked with all these players before, so it's not like they're coming into a new setup, so to say, where they've got to learn the manager, and he knows the players, they know him. It's just a matter of them gelling in and getting to terms with these plans, so to say. So I'm highly optimistic this season. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I smell a top 4 finish for us. And I think this is sort of the foundation that he's going to lay. I'm not sure how long he's going to last, but with Ineos and their vision and structures that they put into place, I think this is sort of now sets the foundation once and for all going forward. And just to end off, I'm just glad we didn't overspend on players like we have done historically. Like I said, we bought quality young players that sort of is the foundation of us building forward now.
Yeah. I think the important part, right, is exactly what you said there, is that firstly, the not overspending part is super important, because you overspend usually on the older players, which make no sense. So now that you're spending the right kind of money on decently aged players who are going to kind of take you forward, and that knows them the way the manager wants to play, is super important. And I think that's going to be where United kind of change as opposed to how they've been playing for the previous kind of seasons. So it's all going to be down to if there's that pattern of play that we've harped on about the whole of last season that was non-existent in United. If it's going to come to fruition this season with the kind of players that he knows, that the manager knows, and it's going to be super important that for United season. And I also smell that top 4 finish. And like you said, it's there for the taking for United. And if you guys find that pattern of play, I think then nothing will be able to stop you guys, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. Is I think we need to sort of find our identity in terms of playing style, which is highly lacking in our last season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I also think I think Ten Hag now seems more comfortable at United. I don't know if you saw him on Sunday. He seems more calm, more comfortable. I think he knows now what's required of him. He's seen the pressure. He knows how to navigate the pressure. So I think this season for him is going to be big, and for United. I think also I think they'll finish in the top 4. Just seeing what's happening at Liverpool. I'm not too sure about Chelsea. I think United has a chance to go to the top 4 this season.
Yeah,
No, that's fair.
unfortunately.
That's fair. Okay, so I'm going to put it out right now. Uh, any of the three of you, whoever wants to go first, which team do you think would be the best performer in the Premier League this season? So not necessarily saying that they're going to be winning the league, but like say for example, and Ipswich making a top four, um, or no, I'm giving a
I
hypothetical
know, yeah.
situation. So
Completely
like
hyperbole here.
yeah, so yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a team that's going to win the league. It's just a team that you feel is going to outperform what they normally do.
Juggernaut first.
Okay, let's give
Okay,
our
okay,
guest.
Mubin, you can go first. You can go first.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, but I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say West Ham United.
Good
Oh,
shout.
okay, that's fair.
Good
That's
shout.
fair. Like they've been recruiting quite well, and
Yeah,
Lopetegui is a really good manager. And I think West Ham needed that new sort of managerial blood for a while. So yeah, like that's actually a very good shout.
It's
Yeah,
a great shout. It's a great shout.
yeah,
Um,
From my side, I'm gonna go with Palace, since they had a very good finish to the season last season. I know they lost a player, a very good player, but I still think they still have Eze, they still have Mateta, so I think they'll still
yeah,
have a very big season this season. I think maybe a top 10 finish, Champions League spot. That's where I see them. I mean, Europe, a
European.
European spot. Yeah, I think they might play Europe after next season, after this season.
that would be big.
yeah. I personally think that Bournemouth is due a really good finish or like a top 10 finish in the Premier League because last season they hit this amazing stride towards the end of the year, like around about December time, where their form just like turned completely and they were beating so many top teams. Um, so yeah, I want to see that happen at like Iraola is also a good manager. So I hope to see like more of that like build up. They have lost Sri Lanka though, to go to Spurs. So they would need somebody to basically replace all of those goals. But yeah, I want to see Bournemouth do well, man. Like I really like them as an underdog team in the Premier League.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he's a good manager, but I just don't like Bournemouth on principle. I'm not sure why. I just, but
That's
and
me with
without the
Forest.
fair enough. Fair enough. I think for me personally, I think Mubini is spot on there. I think West Ham are going to have a great season. They did finish quite high last season, so I'm not sure what exactly would be a great season. Maybe sixth would be a good season for them. But I'll just for the sake of difference, I'll go with Newcastle because they've actually finished out of Europe last season, and I think they'll finish in Europe this season. I think they'll do really well. I think what happened to them last season is going to happen to Villa this season, where they have too many games, kind of a thing, and it's going to take a bit of a beating on the squad depth and the injuries and things like that. Whereas this season they have less games. Obviously, it's just the Premier League they have to kind of focus on. So I think they're going to be back this season. Eddie Howe's going to be doing a madness there, like he did 2 seasons ago, and I think they'll also finish with a European place. So I think they will have a good season. I think Newcastle.
Yeah, and then on the other end, I think for underperforming teams, seeing that you just brought it up now, and that was initially my team that I was gonna say, and that's gonna be Aston Villa. I think the Champions League football aspect is like I think they're trying to account for it with the signings that they're bringing in,
Yeah,
but I don't think that the players or um, any of them understand the magnitude of how strenuous Champions League football is because you literally have to be on your A game because those are the best of the best in there. And I think that they are going to try and prioritize Champions League while letting the Premier League fall down the wayside. And I don't think that they will qualify for European football at the end of the season.
It's a fair bit. It's a fair bit. I feel like like you said, it's difficult for them to kind of navigate through the Champions League and the Premier League at the same time.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
with being the first season, especially, it's very difficult for the players, and they have to get used to it first. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult.
Who do you think your underperforming team is going to be?
I'm very worried about Wolves for this season. The season didn't end too well for them, and now they've also sold Neto to Chelsea. At the moment, I think they have they have Chan as their attackers. Who's the other guy? There's also another guy that's an attacker. I think they only have two attackers at the moment, so they're
I
gonna
think
be
Fabio
stuffed for
Silva is
goals.
still there as well.
Yeah, but he's still young, right? I don't
Well,
think he
he's been
can.
young for the past 4 years, so I think he has to grow up sometime.
I think they bought him when he was
I don't-
18 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think they have enough firepower at up front, and their defense is not very good. So
Yeah.
I'm very worried about them. I think they might be in the relegation spots come the end of the season.
Cool. Rubin, your underperforming team?
I'm gonna go bold, or I'm gonna be bold and go out on a limb again. I just don't see Chelsea contending this season. For the life of me,
What?
I think I say at the beginning of every season, it's just too much happening. There's too much ins, too much out. Yeah, I mean, they strung
And too
some good
many ins.
performances together towards the end of last season, but I don't know. I don't see them contending for top
For
four
what?
this season.
It's
Okay.
crazy though. Like to have
I
like
mean,
46 first team players on the books that's ridiculous. But
I mean, it's sorry,
no, go
if
ahead.
it's like, I understand it's a business, but like these underhanded things where they try to sign someone. I can't remember this guy's name now.
Yeah,
And
from
then
Atletico.
knowing the deal's not going to go through, and they try to sell Gallagher, who's now back training with him, and they didn't get the player they wanted. I don't know. It's just too
Joao
chaotic
Felix.
to me. Yeah, Joao Felix. So it's just chaotic for me. I don't see them. I mean, for a club of their stature and magnitude, they should be competing. For the top four every season. If they don't get there this season, it's a fail.
To be honest, I don't think that yes, there's a lot of drama going on with the club, and when you hear my predictions, you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm
They
saying.
relegate Chelsea.
But like I've read a lot about Enzo Maresca online on Twitter, on threads about like his management style and stuff, and I actually have higher hopes, not high hopes, but like above
I hope
average
she's top
hopes.
6. Yeah.
The above average hopes for Chelsea.
Okay.
Like I think he knows who his core players are going to be. He already told Trevor Chalobah he can't train with the first team. He told Ben Chilwell like you can't train with the first team. So he's already excluded everybody that he doesn't think fits into his plans. So he's probably working with a core bunch of players right now, and he's probably implementing his style with him. And I don't think anybody is giving him the sort of leeway that he deserves, because he's coming into basically a shit show. And
So
I think
though.
I think he's not going to do a bad job. I think Chelsea will be okay, and I think that they have the potential to surprise a lot of people this season.
That's true. But that's because of the players that they have, right? Because even though they have 40 players, there's some gems in there. So no matter
Yeah,
what,
for sure.
if they click, then they'll be a force to be reckoned with. But it's just like Mobin says, it's all the backroom things and all the
Yeah.
weird things that happened there. Honestly, I think if they still had Poch, I would have put him in the top 4 this season. I would
Yeah.
have definitely put him in the top 4. But because they sold Poch and now new manager needs to sold Poch, because they got rid of Poch and they have a new manager needs to reset all of a sudden. I think it's going to be a bit difficult.
Yeah. I mean, just on a side note, Poch is now getting ready to win the World Cup in America in 2026. Yeah. The America winning the
so
whole
it's signed.
the World Cup in their home country, and the person to lift the trophy is Mauricio Pochettino. Never ever thought to be hearing that headline.
Do you think he makes it until 2026? That's
Yeah,
another
no,
question.
for sure,
Okay.
for sure. Before we get to predictions, we've done a segment on top 10 players to watch, but I want to hear from you guys. If there is one player that you think is going to stand out this season, who do you think it's going to be? Odwa, go.
I'm going to have to go for Mateta.
Okay.
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a standout player this season.
Nice. Mubin?
I think Solanke.
Wow.
Again, I know my predictions have been bold this evening, but I think he had quite a solid season last year in a you know in an average
Underperformed.
Bournemouth team.
Yeah.
I mean they compete, but I mean an average team mid-table, sort of top of the bottom half table. And I think with the quality that Spurs have in terms of Son, Madison, guys that can feed him the ball, and I mean we know in the box if you give him a chance he can finish. I mean, so a big season for him, I think. So I think maybe a standout season for him. That's
Let's
my
hope so.
pick.
If you jinx that, I'm going to be very upset.
I'm not touching any wood, so yeah.
Triaz, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Alexander Isak. He was a bit injury prone last season. He was out for a little bit. But I think if he has a full season under his belt, he'll challenge that Golden Boot, or at least second on that Golden Boot with Ollie Watkins. I think him and Ollie Watkins are very similar in terms of skill level, finishing power and running power and all of the things that make a good striker. I think they're very similar. And I think they'll be very similar as well on the goal scoring chart. So I think Isak will be one to watch this season, definitely.
No, fair. I
We're
also think
all
that.
choosing attackers here.
Yeah, and I'm going to
Yeah.
continue that trend.
Maybe
I'm going to continue that trend, and I'm going to go for Cody Gakpo
Okay.
Nice.
on the left wing, playing every match on the left wing. Nothing through the middle, nothing on the right wing, nothing behind the striker. Pure left winger, run by a Dutch manager that
What about
knows
Luis
his game.
Diaz, man?
Bro, Luis Diaz was. There were rumors about him leaving the club a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was
so,
about to say.
I mean,
It might sort of heat up again because Bob is injured. So the talks of him going to City.
Luis Diaz going to City.
That's what the talks
I don't
were,
think
yeah.
it's
Oh
gonna
wow! I've been on Twitter
I
today. I didn't see
would
that
quit
at
watching
all.
football. I'm serious. I would quit watching football. I would never bear the thought of Diaz going to a Premier League team. I would quit.
But that doesn't. Oscar Bob plays on the right wing.
Yeah.
He's a left footer that cuts in. Luis Diaz is a right footer. He's going to want to play on the left wing with
Yeah.
Doku and Grealish.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what we saw. We're just telling you what we
Yeah,
saw.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it might be, it might not be, but yeah.
I mean, like I was just going through because this was the first time that I heard about it, and
Yeah.
like the cogs in my head was just like starting to spin
Spinning.
over there, trying to work out how this actually works.
I want to actually ask
Yeah, that's
Odua quickly,
wild.
if you don't mind. Can I just ask Odua quickly? Odua,
Yeah,
that same question. Who do you play for your team on the left? Is it Gakpo or is it Diaz? And if not, which one? If the one plays there, where does the other one play?
So if it's me, those guys they'll have to compete. I'm sorry. Either one of them can't play as the main striker. So main striker, I'm putting Jota on above Nunes.
Darwin.
Nunes can play if Jota's not available. Same thing with Diaz and
And
Gakpo. I'm starting with Gakpo.
Okay.
If Gakpo is not performing, I'm putting in Diaz. That's
Very nice.
how I'll play them.
Cool.
Nice.
Interesting.
Cool. So now we on to the final segment of today's show, and that is predictions. Riaz,
Easy,
I'm going to
Daddy.
start with you. I
Easy,
want to hear
Daddy.
your
It's easy.
predictions first.
I'm the biggest vanilla. I'm gonna be the biggest vanilla fan you've ever seen. But it's based the most basic is this that you ever. I was gonna swear now, but the most basic you've ever seen. I'm gonna hit you with.
Keep it family friendly.
What do you want me to start with?
Your top six.
Oh, is it 6? Oh no. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the most basic thing you can get: Manchester City, number 1; Arsenal, number 2; Liverpool, number 3; Manchester United, number 4. As basic as you get, those 4 on the top 4. What is going to be interesting is there's going to be, I think, 3 teams for that second 2 spots, and it's going to be Liverpool, Manchester United, and Newcastle. I think that either 3 of them can get those 2 spots, with the other person getting 5th. But I think that will be 3, 4, and 5. So Newcastle, United, Liverpool, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, 6 will be Chelsea. 6 will be Chelsea. 7th will be Aston Villa. 8th will be Spurs.
You asked for top six.
Top six.
I just kept going.
I just kept on going on. Just
I just
kept
kept
on
going.
going on and on and on.
I was the cogs, as like you were saying earlier, the cogs were turning. I was just thinking about just keep going. Okay, top 6. So City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Newcastle. Is that 5? I chuck Chelsea in there.
Okay, that's
Then
sweet.
there's
What do I-
Spurs.
Nah, they're last, man. Who needs them?
I see that reverse psychology happen. I didn't want to point it out first. I'm going to be like, okay, I see what the guy's doing. Just let him have his fun. Let him have his reverse psychology.
See, this is how I
Because
think about it, right? Most people go err on the side of bias, right? They'll
Yeah.
err on the side of bias, or their feelings will get involved, and they'll be like, "Oh, United's going to win the league this season," or "Oh, Liverpool's going to win the Champions League this season," like that type of stuff. But I'll err on the side of complete unbiased and rather cut my team out completely. Just to balance the books.
I respect the vision. Yeah. Odwa, let's hear your top 6 predictions.
Cool. I'm also going to be bold here. I'm going Arsenal winning the league, City, Liverpool 3rd, United 4th, Chelsea 5th, 6th. I'm in between Aston Villa and Newcastle. Those are my predictions.
That's where that sounds like a possible outcome for the Premier League.
As long
Rubin?
as Arsenal win it, I'm in.
I think they've been starting Pep for the past 2 seasons, coming in second. I'm sure they know what they need to do now. Yeah, third time.
Yeah,
I'm sure they know what they need to do.
If not, then
yeah.
I've gone Arsenal, City,
Okay.
United, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea.
Nice.
Okay. So Spurs in 5th.
Spurs in 5th.
Okay, yeah.
I'll take
I
that.
respect it.
I got a couple of bucks from Riaz
So-
behind the screen there to say it. So
If-
Spurs in 5th, Chelsea.
If we end up with, I'll give you a couple of bucks for sure.
Anybody watching this,
Here we go.
like,
Give it
if
to
you
us.
stayed until this part, I understand that I might have a few enemies after this, and that's because Arsenal wins the league finally, Liverpool in 2nd, United in 3rd,
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Chelsea in
Whoa.
4th, Spurs
How's that
5th,
relegation battle looking over there?
Newcastle. We were Newcastle in 6th. Bruh, 115 is coming up next month.
Fair
If
enough.
everything
Oh,
happens the
snap.
way we think is going to happen, there is no way that this team, that City, finishes in the top 10 of the in the top 15 of the Premier League at the end of the season. And
I like that.
if they do, then I give up. I give up on the FA. I give up on everything
It's a good shot.
because 115 charges. That is a humongous number of points that's going to be deducted. There are going to be so many fines for that, and yeah, I'm just like my predictions was based on logic because of that date that got brought up to next month. So
You know,
if come
what
at the end
haters
of
are
the
you gonna
season,
get?
sorry.
What haters are you looking? Are you gonna get from saying that?
You know those City supporters on
Where?
Twitter that just like became City supporters over the past like
Ah.
7, 8 years.
Okay.
You know the previous Chelsea supporters. Yeah, they went from Chelsea. Those ones. Those ones.
Okay.
The ones that joined CT after 2012.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
ones. Yeah. Got you. Got you. Fair
If
enough.
if if City doesn't get the penalty, they're probably winning the league as usual. But no, like
This is the
the
last season
FA.
of City dominance either way, though.
Yeah, the FA needs to come through clutch with whatever um, punishment is going to be handed out after that hearing.
Yeah, but it could just be monetary and not points deduction.
Bro, I
They
mean,
both
Everton and Forest had points deductions last year, and
Deductions.
that was
Yeah.
for like 1 or 2 charges.
Yeah.
Imagine 115 charges. Nah, bro. Like,
Yeah, but it still needs to be more than 40 points. Otherwise, like
yeah,
they're
for
still
sure.
going to stay in the league. They can be deducted 50 points and still stay in the league.
True.
Craziness. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Relegations. Let's go. I'll start with that.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said.
have City relegated,
Okay,
but
fair enough.
based on what you just said now, that's
Yeah.
why I said like the top 15 spots because I feel like City will still stay in the Premier League. But I have for the third season running Everton getting relegated, and I think this year it's actually going to happen
Okay.
because I think they already got the points deduction now. Or like I read
Again.
news that
Might be coming. Yeah.
they're getting another one that's gonna there's gonna be a points deduction within the next week or something. So they're gonna be starting on a negative or some crap like that. Um, so I have them. I have Forest just because I hate Forest and I want them also to get more points deductions like they did last season because they just spent ridiculous amounts of money when they shouldn't have. And then my third team is I don't know if Ipswich has what it takes to be in the Premier League. I haven't seen much of them. I know that Kieran McKenna is their manager. He was at United when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there. I know that he is a good manager, but I just don't know how that's going to translate to the Premier League. So those are my three teams. Mubin?
Yeah, I've just got to make a change here because I didn't know about the Everton thing. So,
Yeah, but last
uh,
season they got points deductions twice and they still
twice
managed to
I
like
still managed. Yeah.
survive. Like how?
Poor, poor Sean Dyche. Man doesn't have a hair left. So yeah, Everton, Forest, Southampton.
Okay.
Oh.
So
No one
you're
having
also
any
taking
faith
a
in
team that just
Forest.
got promoted, going back down. Oh, Riaz?
I still think that there's too much of a big gap between the Championship and the Premier League. And earlier on, I said that I'm going standard, I'm going basic, I'm going completely basic. I might have to change that now because Odwa convinced me about the Wolves thing that they're kind of not going to do too well this season. So I might go Wolves. But I think it's going to be two of the promoted teams and then maybe Wolves. So let's go. I don't like Southampton, nor do I. Okay, actually, I don't mind Southampton, but I don't like Leicester. So I'm going to go Leicester. Leicester, Southampton, and Wolves, just because Ipswich are the complete underdogs, and I like the underdog story. So I'll
That's
go
fair.
Southampton,
That
Leicester, and Wolves.
that was my logic last year with Luton, and I thought that they were going to survive. And they did played some really good football during the
Yeah,
season, but it wasn't
100%.
enough. And I think that just like dented my confidence a bit with Ipswich.
Same.
So now I think that's just like they did on to get relegated. But yeah, I hope they prove me wrong. Odua?
Go. So yeah, we kind of in agreement here. I've got Everton. I've got Forest. And then yeah, I've got Wolves.
Yeah.
Those are my three teams that I think will not make the cut after the end of the season.
Good shots, though. Good shots.
So
Forest, I
would-
mean, Nuno is also really bad, so they might. Yeah.
Speaking from
Yeah,
if
experience.
that happens, does that mean it's the first time in Premier League history that none of the promoted clubs go down? If you go on Odua's
yep, that's what I'm
prediction.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's actually
I'm
a quality
thinking they're
stat.
all
I need
staying
to go
out.
check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
bold. I like it.
Cool. So yeah, any before we wrap up, any games that you guys are looking forward to this weekend? Anything that
Chelsea
stands
City.
out?
Chelsea
I think
City is a big
that
one.
one
Looking
goes
forward to
without saying,
tomorrow
right?
night.
Sunday. That's a
The
good
first
day.
one, obviously.
Now, Mubin speaking about the United Fulham game tomorrow night. He's excited for that one.
It's just because he hasn't seen like football for like 3 months, man. So like he just wants to see for not
It was
that
always good
United.
to have a game on, first game,
Yeah, and
and it's your
I
team, and then
I think
obviously Sunday.
just quickly, yeah.
Sunday's
I
a
think
big
the
one.
Southampton's playing on Monday.
Mm-mm.
Is it
Leicester
Sorry?
and Spurs are playing on Sunday.
Oh yeah, Spurs.
No, sorry, I meant Saturday, not Sunday. Saturday, the last
Um,
game.
just on the Chelsea City game, Enzo Maresca, he was part of the coaching staff at City as well. He was, I think, the youth or the academy coach. So he worked under Pep. He knows Pep as well. It might be something extra for him to play for to try and get one over on his old club. And I think everybody's going to be thinking that Chelsea's going through everything that they are, and there's so much drama, and the City players will probably also have that mindset. We're going to score like a million goals. I don't know, man. I think
No ways.
City comes away with a win.
Thinking
And
about
and,
the main man, Cole Palmer.
and City didn't do well against Chelsea last season, if you
Yeah.
remember. Both
Yeah,
all the games that they played against Chelsea, they didn't do well against them. So I'm also thinking maybe Chelsea might win or a draw.
Agreed.
yeah.
100% agree with you on
Fair,
that one.
fair.
Plus, Chelsea did really well in the first game against Liverpool last season. It was the best game
Yeah.
of the first half of the season. So, yeah, they're gonna surprise people definitely for sure.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. But yeah, that's the end of our show. Thank you guys for pulling through once again. Odua, thank you for hopping on to our show as sporadically as you do. We do appreciate it every single time. Where can the people find you on social media?
I always forget the saying, man. I think on Twitter, I'm am I this is order or something? I can't remember, man. But yeah, if you search anything or order on Twitter, you will find me. I'm not on
Isn't it that dude
Instagram.
Odua or something?
That dude order, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that dude Odua.
I never remember what my handle is. But yeah, that
Nice,
dude order on Twitter. Yeah, that's where you find me.
nice. Riaz,
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at @Parker_Riaz. You can come and chat if you really want to. I don't know, I'll try and be more active. I always say that never happens. And then on Instagram at RiazParker7. And of course, follow the channel.
nice. Mubin, if people want to come stalk your profile,
Or
people
come
want to
find you in the Bahamas or,
come,
Yeah,
yeah, if
currently
they
I'm
want to
on
tag along in
vacation
your
in the
tweet place,
Bahamas, Villa number 7, around on the bend by the beach. But I'll be back next week. So at Mubin_Ahmed on Instagram and Mubin Ahmed on Facebook. I think I'm the only Facebook user here, so represent.
probably.
Yeah,
Um,
that's where you
yeah,
can find me.
nice. I am at AFParker642 on all social media profiles. We are at Sportycast on all social media profiles as well. Keep it locked to all of our channels. We have a lot of content being pushed out every day across those social media channels. We just announced our FPL Fantasy Premier League league code as well. That's going to be starting this weekend. So join the league, have some fun. It's going to be an amazing season. Share this video, like this video, tell your friends, tell everybody about it. Your support means the most to us, and yeah, we wouldn't be without you guys to motivate to create all of this amazing content. So yeah, just a lot of thanks from all of us. And yeah, that's it for the show. I'm a 4343. Peace.